All right, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Can you feel the love? Oh, for God's sake, can you feel the love? It has been a remarkable time. It is a time of magic and loveliness and wonderfulness and ProKits. Ladies and gentlemen, Library ProKits.
Where's our sound?
Hang on. Faulty start.
There's music playing. Okay. Okay. No, thank you. Hi, guys. Can you all hear me? Okay. Yes. We are Team Library ProKits, and we are so excited to tell you about our baby and how it was born. But first, a little bit about us, the parents. The members of Team Library ProKits hail from a diverse mix of backgrounds, both in and out of library world, from our focuses in the field to the types of communities that we serve. We are spread all throughout Chicagoland doing our good work, but we united for a common cause that we think you will find relevant in your own library work. Our first team member. Meet Jennifer Hovanek, our bold and lovely dynamo. Here she is. She works as an assistant manager in adult services at the Indian Trails Public Library. Her library serves Wheeling, Buffalo Grove, Prospect Heights, and Arlington Heights, with a total member community of approximately 67,000. 53% of this diverse working class population speak English as their second language. Next, we have Shira Rock. Shira Rock, yes. Shira Rock kicks butt at the Elmhurst Public Library, where she's their school services librarian. Her affluent community of 45,000 people love their library. They love their library fiercely, and they're very vocal in their support. Next, we have Miss Uma Nori. Yeah. Gosh, we're adorable. Uma works in a living dollhouse, better known as the Thomas Ford Public Library, that's in Western Springs, and she is their youth services department head, where she's busily meeting the substantial demands of this tiny but mighty community of 13,000. This affluent group of patrons love their library as well. And we have Erica Cullinan. She is not here today, but she will be here in spirit later in the presentation. You will see her. She's a children's librarian at the Naperville Public Library. It's a 3-branch library that you may have heard of that serves a whopping 145,000 people. A little bit of a different community there.
Involved in a big maker project.
Yes!
She is the maker librarian.
Yes, she made something pretty cool, someone pretty cool. We have a little baby. But her community offers a great deal of support, and they have the money to back a lot of their projects. And me, there I am. My name is Marissa Garcia, for those of you who don't know. I'm the youth services librarian at the Berwyn Public Library. And Berwyn is a vibrant working class city just outside of Chicago's west side, home to about 60,000 people, and 60% of them are Latino. Overwhelmingly young families, and many of them speak Spanish. So Berwyn has a modest budget, but we have mad amounts of love, so we do well. And last but not least, Team Library ProKits has been lucky enough to be mentored by David Celeb, director of the Oak Park Public Library. Yes. Mm-hmm. His journey with us has consisted largely of managing our considerable shenanigans and participating in embarrassing acting roles. Thank you. I think I asked him for like a kinky cooking book in our original video. So we're very grateful to have had his support during our labor. So as you can see, Team Library ProKits is comprised of a set of people that bring very different experiences to the table. We also have different levels of different levels of comfort using technology. So this is where Library ProKits comes in. The library world is made up of library staff with a myriad of skill sets and comfort levels with tech, as we know. So how can we help them embrace one of the most prevalent technologies currently out there, which is video recording? And how can we help keep it from being frustrating, time-consuming, terrifying? We'd love to tell you more about how we sought to accomplish this and our adventures growing our baby along the way. So with that, I give you Miss Uma Nori, she'll be talking about where we started.
Hello, everybody. So we started this project idea with learning, sharing, and connecting, all that woven into like watching videos or making videos woven into it. So the place we came from is that each one of us in our libraries does amazing things, and sometimes that doesn't even get shared in our own library, or maybe even neighboring libraries don't do the little and big amazing things that we do. We thought we wanted to have some resources available and give resources so that people could share their videos and we could learn from them. And we thought the best way to do this would be to give equipment to people possibly who didn't have access to the equipment, or even if they had, maybe it was not, they didn't really want to dabble in it because it was a new technology for them. So we decided that we would create a media kit. The other thing was that we all came from a diverse library background. Some of us have a library media center, whereas the others didn't have, and so that's where we thought having access to video making equipment and technology would be helpful to do this. So our diving board was in our March session with Beck, when she asked us to tell us a little bit about our project, and she illustrated things. And in that one session, she asked for a pictorial representation of our project. And Marissa put a diagram together where she connected learning, sharing, creating, producing, teaching, and all that connected with love. So, and that's where our logo was born. So we all in our libraries do, what we do is because we love our work, we love our community, we love our members, and that's why we do great work. And that's the love that we want to share, and that's why this whole project, Library ProKits. So right at the beginning, we became aware of some of the hurdles of this kind of learning, sharing, and connecting. We identified one of the hurdles being time, the other being tools, equipment, and resources, third being the fear of critics. We felt having easy access to this digital media equipment would allow library staff to share the amazing novel things they do. So we thought with the Library ProKits, they could record the videos, and then we would make it available on our website. And we were, again, aiming at two kinds of learning to use the equipment and technology to make a video, and the second is learning from watching the videos made by others. So we organized a community representative reception after we created our kits, a way to share our kits with them and also to celebrate that we had made our kits. And before the reception, each one of us in the team had a task to make a video about how to use the equipment. So Shira and I had a chance to make videos on how to use the digital camera and the tripod. And we very quickly learned it's very, at least I found it's very easy to use the equipment but the toughest part is the video editing. So I have more respect for all the little videos that I watch. And that seems to have been a stumbling block with the community representatives. They take the video, but it's that editing and actually then submitting it to us so we can put it on a website. So we're still, that's a little issue. We have to figure out how to. We have some resources, but that's a small issue that a challenge that we have been confronting. And the other thing was in video making, it's, you have to think about it. Like you have to put together a script and you have to figure out where you're shooting it and all that. So the whole process has been very interesting. And on the day of the reception, it was amazing to see the response from all the community reps. We received some feedbacks from them. One of them mentioned it might be nice to have a manual in the kit so that people who are not that familiar with the technology can use the manual to handle the equipment. And somebody else asked us to label the items in the kit. So we have already fixed some of them, and the others we are in the process of fixing. So we have 4 kits, and they're all housed at Indian Trails Public Library, and they will be, if you sign up for a kit, it'll be through Rails, it'll be delivered to you. The only thing I guess we're asking of you is to try and use the equipment, make a video, and share it with us, and share it with everybody in the library world. And now I will turn this over to Erica Cullinan. She was the one who made a beautiful website, and she'll tell us what about this kit.
This is our Erica representation for the moment.
So I am going to talk about what we created, which was the physical kit and the Library ProKits website. So on our homepage, which is libraryprokits.weebly.com, we have on that our mission and some of the goals of the kit. So our mission is to provide Illinois libraries the opportunity to borrow video recording equipment and establish a forum for resource sharing. And then our goals are to borrow one of the 4 library ProKits containing basic video equipment, learn more and get a hands-on experience with video technology, and share your own ideas with our YouTube channel by submitting your video creation. We also have on our homepage our ILEAD USA link, because without ILEAD, we could not have done this project. On the bottom, we also have a link to our Facebook page that was created, our Twitter page, our YouTube channel, and our Library ProKits email. The next tab is the Team tab. This is just a list of us and what library we are located at and what our job title is. We also have on the Team page the videos that were created at ILEAD. The next tab that we have is the Request Kit tab. If you want to request a kit, you go to this page and fill out a kit request form. All it does is ask you a few basic questions about you and your library. You then submit the form, and a Library ProKit team member will get back to you with further details upon checking the kit out and the date that you requested the kit. Once you receive a verification, you then need to fill out an agreement form. One part of the agreement form is making sure that all of the materials are located in the kit upon arrival and also upon return. So we do have a Library ProKit checklist available. So in our kit, we have a digital camera, a Yeti USB microphone, a tripod, a lavalier microphone, and some extra items that might be helpful, which include a flash drive and memory card, USB cable, and battery pack. We decided on these items because they were basic things that everyone could use during video recording. We decided on these items learning about different video recording equipment from different webinars that we went to, from people that we talked to who actually are in the field of publicity and video recording, and equipment reviews. The Library Pro Kit gets a checkout of 1 month. You can look on the calendar to the right to see when the kit is available. When you have finished using the kit, we do ask for you to complete a survey. This is to let us know how your experience was and how we can improve this service for others. The next part of the website is using the kit. So this is where we have our YouTube Library Pro Kit video channel. This is also where we have videos made by the Library Pro Kit team on how to use some of the equipment that is in the Pro Kit. We also have, from our ILEAD USA poster session, the Instagram account loaded on here, which shows our 10-second teach and also gives an idea of what kind of videos you can make. So we will go to our YouTube channel by clicking this button here, and this is where you will find videos that our community representatives have made. We also provide a resources tab, and this is a great resource if you don't have much knowledge of video recording or even editing videos. So these were different resources from people that we got permission to use from, and if you find a great resource, we would be glad to put it up on our webpage. All you would need to do is email us at libraryprokits@gmail.com. And that is our webpage and kit.
We will send Erica your virtual applause. And let me take a second to point out that all of the audio, video, and editing equipment are in our kit. So for those of you that are sitting in this room, this is an example of some of the great stuff that you can do. All of our editing and things like that have also been done with open source software. So again, these are all things that are made possible by our connections we made with Karen McBride, especially Tony Lucarelli. They were very helpful to us and very kind in letting us share the awesome materials that they created. So big ups to y'all. So I am going to tell you, okay, so we know who we are, we know where we started, we know what we've created. Now's the big part. What's the why? Why is the Library Pro Kit concept important? So the Library Pro Kit is a tool that comes pre-made with one thing that every library staff member needs, no matter which community or population that you serve. The Pro Kit's greatest feature is this: opportunity. As library staff members, we often have to seek out inspiration rather than being struck by it. We happily beg, borrow, and steal from each other to manufacture great programming and other services. We beg off ideas, asking questions like, how did you manage to get that? We borrow materials, we borrow time, we borrow people from other departments or neighboring libraries, but we also lend in kind. And finally, when I say steal, I mean that we look at what some of the influential libraries in our field are doing, because they are out there on the forefront making headlines all the time, presenting at conferences, and basically kicking butt and taking names. For example, and I'm going to reference Oak Park Public Library because David just hates it when we brag about him. Oak Park Public Library has an amazing teen volunteer structure. It's well developed, it's personalized, and it is very, very cool. It involves multiple staff members and many facets of their library and their community. I heard about it at an ILA conference in 2012, and it has stuck with me ever since because I really admired it. While I loved the idea, I was never able to implement it in any way for a few reasons. Number one, I don't come from Oak Park Public Library. I come from a much smaller town where we have one amazing teen librarian due to her mere humanity. Just can't do everything that multiple people can. But we can steal that idea as a base. I'm not a teen librarian. I don't run volunteer programs. But what if I was? What if this information was given to me or shared in a way that reached out to me and I wasn't at that conference? How cool would it have been to have that be in the right hands of a teen librarian who does work with volunteer groups, or someone who heard that idea? The creative library staff member might have been able to modify or adapt Oak Park Public Library's program to fit his population, budget, or time constraints. If that idea had been shared on that larger online platform using something like the Library ProKit to film it, or the Library ProKit YouTube channel to share it, the idea would have been shared and may have been very successful in another place as well. Please don't be fooled. This concept is not new to our field. We are not thinking that we've invented the idea of begging, borrowing, or stealing. If you've done it right, you've probably done or thought some of these things before, and each one of those moments is an opportunity. Our goal was to provide opportunity and empowerment. That's why everyone should take a chance and check out the ProKit. People who choose to borrow the ProKit have the opportunity to thinker, as I said twice yesterday and thrice today, to tinker, to think, and to try. At the core of our evolving professional landscape, these are the three real tools that are of the essence. Many times, the equipment that Erica mentioned is not available at all, or the equipment is available to a select few staff members in a library. The ProKit, through the ILEAD USA program, has become a physical representation of the complete opposite of that thought. We've structured the program in such a way that it's available to any person who's working in a library who wants to try video equipment out. We purposely kept the requirements simple to appeal to everyone. You just have to work in the profession, utilize a Rails delivery system, and have an interest. There's no monetary cost to check out a ProKit. It ships to you. There is one single obligation. You got to share. You got to support. Share your idea, video, review something. Talk about a program you did with your coworkers in the field on our YouTube channel. Inspire other people around the library world to beg, borrow, or steal your idea. So why was ILEAD a part of this? Let's examine the obvious: grant money, guaranteed support. I would also venture strict deadlines. Those were very helpful. But when our fiscally, geographically, and professionally diverse group came together back in the fall of 2014 to figure out if we had an idea that would be viable, we found that we shared common threads. Though our teammates range in experience in the field, though our departments are different and our titles range, we wanted to learn about video production. We recognized its value. We wanted to take the fear out of trying something for the first time. We wanted to remove the tremor of inadequacy that library staff members feel when faced with new technology. So we did. We are not perfect. We have not come out of this as the next great video director. T. Swift will not be calling us. But we've got nowhere to go but up. Here's Shira to fill you in on how we are going to grow with the ProKit when we arrive back home.
Okay. So as we were talking earlier, the fact that, Erica just gave birth, I thought of a kind of a really great analogy of that. We spent the last 9 months. Well, it takes 9 months to have a baby, and you figure when we present at ILEAD here today, it's like giving birth to our project. So now this is a point where we get to the point where now we're supposed to grow it and develop it and let it mature into its own probably entity at this point. So again, ILEAD has given us the tools, the time, and even time restrictions on to creating our projects. But now it falls on us to continue to see it grow. And in order for it to grow, we must become diligent and proactive in our efforts. We believe that the best place to start is by attending different library conferences and events to just exhibit our projects and to see what others think of it. Just this past weekend, I was able to attend the poster session at ILA conference in Peoria, and as I was presenting our poster session, I realized that a lot of librarians were very, very excited with our idea, and many expressed interest of checking out our library ProKit. In fact, the fact that Rails will send our kits to their library pretty much was sealed the deal for a lot of libraries. They really liked that idea, and a lot of them were something that I also remember is that they were very excited about the binder that we actually add in there. And something that they were all really, really interested about was the fact that we actually had a glossary of video editing terms that not many people are familiar with, and there's a lot of terms in there that a lot of people will either be like, what in the world is this, especially if you're looking at articles. Well, just like a baby, it's constantly going to grow. Well, as librarians begin to use the kit, we will be expected to revisit our project and make necessary changes by our users' evaluations. We're kind of expecting for a kit to probably evolve and change and even look slightly different than what we have today. In addition, we've had some other discussion with some other ILEAD teams about collaborating, since some of our projects kind of overlap a little bit, because there's so many similarities. Since we were unable to collaborate with an ILEAD and form a group, we figured we'll wait until ILEAD finishes, and we'll see if there's a possibility of creating something massive, or as one whole. And something that we've discussed on our own that I thought that's pretty awesome, that we have a grander goal that has emerged from all this, is that we would like to create a huge Pinterest-like website for librarians to exchange all kinds of information. Everything from public to academic to community, pretty much any type of library, regardless if they're special or public or academic, any of that. When Library ProKits, we're here to make sure that all staffs are sharing ideas and resources, but we're not only just showing what talented people we have in our libraries, but we are making connections to other libraries that we would have never thought possible without something like this if we're never sharing. So again, I will turn this to Marissa so she can give us some good news.
That's our baby.
Baby, I need this. So this baby was born yesterday. We don't know his real name yet, but we named him Lancelot Percival for the initials Library ProKits, LP. But once again, we want to thank ILEAD and the State Library for the support, and we're so happy to be here. We're going to play you another little video in just a second, but as you can see, Library ProKits has come a long way in 9 months. Our growing pains have given way to real progress, so we're looking very much forward to our baby's next steps, and we wonder what yours will be. We're excited to see that too. Oh, next, one more. That's a diaper you see right there on the ProKit. Thank you.
Check us out at libraryprokits.weebly.com. So we'd like to open up the floor to questions. What can we do for you? Karen McBride.
Not a question, but just when I heard you saying like the editing part was horrible, I'm here, if you ever want to collaborate on some kind of a workshop or something, if you have people that you're talking to who are like, we love doing this, but then this part just made us want to rip our hair out, let's get together and talk, because that's the part that I love.
Ah, cool.
I would love,
Thank you.
For your library, or we could I've done that for Dale Borden and some other libraries before. We would love to work with you folks and put something together if you think it would be helpful.
It's very interesting because, one of the things we were striving to do was to make sure that we made a kit that was not only just accessible through people who, we can use iMovie, no problem, but not everybody has a Mac or has that access. So that's why we were also pushing ourselves to try using Vimeo or the YouTube editor, that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes we may have turned back to our old ways, but at the same time, it's about the option, it's about the opportunity, and that's something that isn't always flush in our day. So we wanted to put it out there. But that would be awesome. Thanks.
Miss Anne? Yes.
Yes. That was our almost combination.
Yes. Miss Anne?
Just wanted to comment again that if you want session, was that the 10-second thing?
Mm-hmm.
Was that
Yes.
just for the poster session, or are you encouraging people to do 10 seconds of what they did? Like
It's an option.
an option.
It's just one little idea that we decided. It's a very
We-
popular platform, you know. So.
15 minutes, I guess.
Oh yeah, there's no limit to your videos or anything like that. The challenge that we found was we've been using Google Drive as a main storage, so people couldn't necessarily email us that, but if they shared the link from their Google Drive, we could download it. So it's a little bit of legwork on our part, but at the same time, there's only 4 kits and they circulate for a month at a time, so 10, 12 times out of the year I can do that. I can commit to that. The other side to it with the 10-second teach, that's something we'll probably use as a marketing tool going forward, because I thought it was a really cool idea, and then we had such a small amount of time. We had to get y'all in somehow, so that's what we did. Question?
One of the things I've heard about is like an actual, like a consumable product called Niche Academy, where people, entities record kind of how-to videos, and you can like subscribe, or you can create them within your own entity. But like, is it Blue Cloud Analytics is coming out with in CCS, and so there's always something new, a new tool out there or something. But this is kind of a great opportunity for the people who are kind of on the front of learning these new things to create a how-to clip to like run a report or to whatever, to highlight some functionality and then share it within your consortium or just within your building. But this exists, but you pay for it, and you guys have created something that's free, and you can really help your neighbors out when there's something new.
Like one of our community reps made a video on like closing apps, or, just simple things which if maybe I don't have an iPad or I use a Kindle, just even little things. If I guess by watching, our idea was you become aware of it. So if a patron or a member is talking to you, you at least know what is it that they're experiencing means, So just, that kind of sharing and learning. Doesn't have to be only a library program. It could be equipment or saying that this kind of equipment didn't work for this program, so maybe we are aware when we are making a decision for that, something like that. So that's the premise of this project.
And we definitely purposely used YouTube as our, we had a lot of back and forth about it. Should we create a blog where we're completely hosting things or that kind of stuff? And ultimately we made the choice to use YouTube because you could be a library in California and find it as well. So for us, it's going to be how we're tagging the videos and how we are associating things. And it's a little bit of a risk because you can't always decide what's associated with you in that related videos side. But at the same time, we're hoping that libraries will appreciate that. Yes?
When you're embedding YouTube videos, if you include REL equals 0 in your embed code, the link for that, it won't show those boxes of related videos.
Oh, cool. Okay. Somebody write that down if you have a pen.
David, write that down. You write that down.
Any other questions?
We have 2 minutes. Ask us
There's
about more
someone else.
stuff.
Yes.
David.
So I've been having this conversation with lots of different video publishers and video platforms and all these kinds of things. And one of the few, once again, brilliant job, great, love it. As you begin to generate more and more of a video library, the idea of looking to expand that platform so that they can be embedded into learning environments, right? I mean, so, and you already mentioned working with different projects, right? So the shadowing experience that gets videoed and then put up on this kind of system, or this technology is part of the sharing experience to document what's going on and sharing best practices. And so sort of, I see, there's this, we start with the video and we get people comfortable with it, we get them some attention, fabulous, and then we begin getting them thinking about instruction with it, and then we get them sharing that, and I think it's really exciting trajectory you guys are on.
Last question.
There you go.
Gina has a question.
Oh, are they, and I might have missed this part, when can we start requesting them?
We are going to allow them for circulation starting December 1. So we've had a few requests come in. So now we're just at the point where we're lining them up. And just our last thing kind of to what David said as well. You know, that was our goal, was that we knew when we got together, you know, I'm the lone adult services person up here. So, you know, in order to justify my participation, I almost had to make sure that I was like, man, I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to work with all these youthies. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Youthies. But what I really wanted to say is I'm glad that we connected, and it was important for all of us to do something for not ourselves, but our people. So our library staff members, that was huge. So, so check us out. libraryprokits.weebly.com.